Today we have the honor of talking to award-winning Iranian-American TV chef Ariana Bandi. Ariana, what a privilege it is to be here in your debut restaurant here at the Royal Atlantis Dubai. What an exciting time this must be for you. Please tell our viewers a little bit more about your journey to this moment.
Well, it was an incredible journey, I can say that, with the most incredible team on the planet. It took a few more years than expected, but we're finally here and this is it.
Amazing. You mentioned in some interviews before that you inherited your love of cooking from your father, who had a French restaurant and then also a bistro in Beverly Hills. What inspired you to bring Persian cuisine and heritage to a wider global audience?
Traveling around the world, eating different cuisines, I felt there are so many wonderful cuisines out there, whether it's Turkish or Indian or, anything else. I just kept wondering, why is our cuisine not known? Why is it that we're not celebrated in a way? So I felt, that I needed to roll my sleeves up, write a cookbook. I did a TV show on Nat Geo where I was traveling around Iran, discovering the food of my heritage, and I learned along the way. And I realized it's so rich, it's so vast, it's so beautiful, and it's historically, it had a lot of influences on other cuisines. So I really wanted to bring that back home and share that with everyone, especially with Iran the way it is. And I think the more we reflect on the positive and the more beautiful things we have, the better it is. So that was my journey.
For our viewers that may not be as familiar with Persian cuisine, would you mind just explaining a little bit more of what this entails?
Persian cuisine is delicate, it's comforting, it's familiar, but yet it's exotic. So we don't use a lot of spices. We don't have chilies and harder spices. We don't use ginger, but we use a lot of saffron, turmeric, cinnamon with a light touch because we love fresh products. I think that's most important for us, are fresh ingredients. And I think anyone can make Persian food at home. It literally uses common ingredients that you have in your cupboard to create different flavor profiles. So the combination of pomegranates and walnuts, or chicken with carrots and oranges, or lamb, mint, and celery. These are common ingredients, but when they're put together, they're spectacular.
That does sound delicious, and it's spectacular, and almost maybe as spectacular as the interior of this restaurant. Would you mind telling us a bit more about the setting and what inspired this?
So the inspiration behind Ariana's Persian Kitchen is my home in Kashan. I have a historic home. It's about 300 years old. It took about 4 years to renovate, and it has similar domes and windows, and I really wanted to bring here the magic that I felt and I feel when I sit in my home, and also to feel our guests to feel at home when they walk in, but a majestic home. So yes.
Wow. Your love for cooking, and more specifically your passion for Persian cuisine, is something that has inspired so many people around the globe. Which of your personal favorite dishes will you be serving up here on your menu?
I think all of them are my favorite dishes. I love absolutely everything on the menu. So that's really hard. But I think Persian, because it's quite a difficult food to make, that's something that I absolutely love. It's walnuts with pomegranate juice, pomegranate paste, with chicken served over really lovely steamed rice from the Caspian region of Iran. The sambuse, which is the original samosa. It's got ground lamb with orange peel and raisins, and it has a lovely orange and rosewater dip. It sounds, sweet, but it's not. It's sweet and sour. It's fragrant without it being overly fragrant. So, yeah, too many dishes to name.
Wow, and of course you have many cookbooks. You have won so many accolades with them as well. One of your first cookbooks was Sweets Alternative, providing people with options that aren't able to eat gluten, dairy, or soy. Yeah. With the dietary requirements becoming ever more present, would we be able to expect some of those items on the menu as well?
Absolutely, that's an amazing question. I'm a clean eater. I also try to avoid gluten, so we have a lot of gluten-free dishes, dairy-free dishes. Also, I believe in clean ingredients, so our oils are olive oil, butter, and rice bran oil to fry in. We use Himalayan salt, Malden salt, and fleur de sel. So things that are clean. I read every single label. I make sure everything is super clean. So when you eat in Ariana's Persian kitchen, it feels good. It feels like you're settled. It feels like you're comforted, and you don't go home with a stomach ache. I think that's really important for restaurant food and food that you feel like you've eaten at home.
Amazing. And lastly, what can we expect to see from you and your amazing new restaurant in the future?
So I imagine myself recreating this elsewhere. I want as many people to know about Persian food and culture as possible, given the situation in Iran and the kind of misconception that people have of Iranian people. I really want to make it my mission to bring that to light, spread it as much as I can, get people to actually take the cookbook or any other cookbook, Persian cookbook, home and recreate those recipes for their children, for their loved ones, and make that a common thing within the culinary world. That's my wish.